I'm Brian from Wrenchfest Garage, and today we're working on the ZF6 transmission. As you can see, I've got it pretty much tore apart. I have no idea what I'm doing. This is the first one I've ever done. I do have some instructions off the internet, so we're gonna see if we can get this thing back together and make it work and shift and not grenade. So sit back, relax, and enjoy, but do not do as I do. All right, so the other day, I didn't film this. I pulled the bearings, the bearing races out of this case, and the way I was able to do that, I don't know if you can see that or not, but there's kind of a blind hole. It's about impossible to get a puller down behind the race. So I watched a YouTube video to figure this out, but basically you run a weld right around here like this, and you would think because it's aluminum case and a steel bearing that it would just expand and get it stuck worse, but I don't know the science behind it, but for whatever reason, I guess it somehow shrinks the bearing, and then it's super easy to pull out. I also welded a bolt across there so I could grab it with my slide hammer and make it a little bit easier to get out. Anyway, some guys say you got to stick weld it, some guys say you got to TIG weld it. I actually just used my MIG welder, and I set it on probably about 3/16 thickness metal, and you can see it's just a horrible weld, but it doesn't matter what it looks like. It just has to heat it and shrink it, and then you just pop it right out of there. It's a pretty neat trick. All right, so this is where I pulled the bearings out of, and they also suggested that you put grease down in there so as your welds splatter, it won't hurt the aluminum case. So I've got a bunch of grease down there. I'm just gonna clean it out, and then I can go ahead and put the new bearing races back in there. Might have got a little carried away with the grease here, but I guess it's better to have too much in there than not enough. So we'll just wipe it out, use a little brake clean, make it look like brand new. So this is a shim that goes underneath the bearing race. Got to make sure that that goes back in. Hopefully whoever did this transmission last did it right, because that's what we're going to go with, is these shims. And right there's the pump. So these ZF6s have external cooler lines. There's a little pump in here that circulates the fluid in and out of the cooler, which is kind of cool for a manual transmission. I don't know, a lot of them have that. How's that smell, Erica?
Pretty strong.
Whew! Yeah, whoa. That's too much.
Might be a little stony baloney in a minute.
I got a little heat on it when I was putting that weld on there. I don't know if you can see that discoloration, but yeah, whatever. It should be fine. Or the transmission will blow it. One of the two. It's hard to say. Could go either way. Okay, so I got the case kind of cleaned out, and now I'm going to pull off this, I don't know, bearing retainer. That's what I call it in other transmissions, and that's where the input shaft comes out. But I'm going to pull that out, hopefully, so I can get the sill behind it. Doesn't seem like it's coming out too good. Maybe it'd be better to leave it in. I don't know. Okay, there's a sill. I guess that's just a sill retainer, appears to be. Also appears that they had that Loctited in quite well. Bam, that came out easy. There's a sill. That's where the front input shaft comes out. Hopefully I got a new one to put in there. So the reason, I don't know if I explained this before, but the reason that we're tearing this transmission apart, when I bought the truck, the transmission was in the back of the truck, so it obviously had a problem. Problem was it had no first reverse, so we got into a little bit, and all I could find wrong with it is it lost the roll pin for one of the forks, for the first reverse fork, so the shift rail was just sliding back and forth inside the shift fork, so it had no first reverse. So this is the shifter for the ZF6, and as you can see, reverse and low are on the same plane, so they use the same shift fork, and that's the one that lost the roll pin. So it had no reverse and it had no low gear. Alright, we're gonna get 50 years worth of grease off of this part. Okay, not 50 years, 25 years, however old this truck is. Oh, another thing I want for my birthday is a parts cleaner. I don't know if I want to reuse this. So this is the part that the throwout bearing rides on, so it needs to be smooth and good. So we're going to clean this up. This is where the throwout bearing rides, and it's a little rough. So we're going to hit it with a little emery cloth and see if we can clean it up. If I'm not happy with it, we're going to have to replace it. Because you want that throwout bearing to ride without sticking on this thing whatsoever. Makes your clutch a lot smoother. The nice thing about this, as you get into it further, the emery cloth gets a little duller, puts a little bit nicer shine on it, makes it a little smoother. I don't know, I might price this out and see how much this is. I mean, it's pretty good. I think it'll be just fine. Not perfect. There is a spot right there. It's just a little, feels a little rough. I can feel it with my thumb. You can see it, you can feel it. Seems like a kind of an excessive amount of play. As that goes in and out, that's going to rub one side or the other and cause, but that might be normal. I'm not sure. It seems a little loose to me, but I guess you got that full of grease and whatnot. Should be okay. I don't know. I'm going to price one out. Probably just get a new one. Alright, so I'm going to go ahead and pull out the reverse idler and shaft, so I can get out this bearing here for the, I guess it's for the counter shaft. Anyway, you gotta pull this bolt out right here. It's on the side of the case. That comes out. Set that on the bench. Just gonna give a little tug with my little pry bar here. So this is the retainer. It's a little sticky. It's aluminum on aluminum. Aluminum on aluminum. There. That's the reverse idler gear, and there's some bearings inside there. And this should just come out. I guess that's permanent fixture. Okay, now we gotta get the other bearing out of there. Hey buddy. Hey, yeah, whoa, Ragnar. There's our friendly neighborhood Ragnar just cruising through the garage. Please don't just punch a hole in the case, that would suck. Yeah, it's not the right puller for this job at all. Broke the bearing. Now we're committed to getting it out. It's got to come out.
So do you have a new one of these?
I certainly hope so. There's a bearing cage right there that we broke. Yeah, we were just hammering on the rollers because there's really no way to get under that bearing. There's a couple of spots. We'll try to get under now. Alright, so we finally got this bearing coming out, I think, after several attempts with a couple of different pullers and the fear of breaking the case because I was pushing pretty hard on that aluminum. But I think I finally got it. So let's keep going here, see if she goes. Oh, she's moving. Let me just get the case to hold still for a second. Hobo freight for the win. Holy crap. It's out.
Came out.
That was ugly. That was a fight. But it's out. That was rough. RUFT rough. So I'm just trying to pull this shaft out. Somehow it got stuck in there a little bit. And I'm not really sure what's going on here. Very oily and slippery and stuck. I think it'll move. Alright, so that's the reverse idler shaft. Alright, so we're going to knock out the rear seal out of the case, and this is not the proper tool to do this, but it's what I have here handy. Whoops, yeah, it's working exactly how I expected it to. It's not. Everything's got to be a fight with this thing, I guess. Let's try this. Okay, that's out. All right, so we got that bearing out, and we're gonna tap this one in, just trying to figure out if there's a way that it goes in, but it doesn't look like it. So here we go. Okay, so we got the old bearing out. Now we're gonna tap the new one in. Hopefully it goes okay. Ugly. Wish I had a better way to do this, but I don't, because it's so far into that transmission. You need some kind of extension, and yeah, it's just not working great. Okay, but I think we're good. I don't think we destroyed anything. Now we got that bearing back in the case, we can put the reverse idler back on. Well, so I'm just I don't have a new bearing for this, and I thought I did, but I don't. So I'm just gonna clean this bearing up as good as I can, and then lube it up a little bit, and then stick her back in. Whoops, too much. Okay, so this reverse idler shaft has a hole right there. We gotta attempt to line that up. I'm gonna put a little lube on it this time, so hopefully it'll come in and out like it's supposed to. Not be such a struggle. Okay, we're lined up good enough. Put a little ATF to lube it up. And then this is the retainer. Hopefully that slides back in. Get a little lube on that, so it's a tight fit. Okay, I'm gonna throw just a little bit of, after I clean this up, I'm gonna throw a little bit of Loctite on there, just a little added insurance. Next guy that pulls this part, which will probably be me, it'll be custom. Just using blue Loctite, don't wanna get crazy with the red and never get it out. Dab on there, a lot of Dewar. This shim goes underneath the bearing race. And then this piece here gets a new piece. You just gotta go in like that or like that. I think it goes in like that. Let's see if the instructions say. Trying to figure out how this bearing race goes in. There's a shim under it, some kind of shield. I don't know what it does. Maybe I shouldn't be rebuilding this transmission. I don't know what's going on. So hopefully got everything in right. I think I do. That's how it came out. So we're gonna go ahead and knock this race in. I know how this one goes, so we can for sure put this one in. That one just goes like that. This guy. This can take 6 weeks. Okay, so what I'm doing here, I'm using the old race to knock the new one in. And it kind of sucks because you can't get a good swing on it because you're way down in that transmission case. So it's a little bit at a time, it's a little tedious. We're gonna get it. Did I say a little tedious? I meant it's a lot tedious. Got the race in, took about 20 minutes. It was rough, but it went in. So on to the next one. I'm just not 100% positive that's how that oil slinger or whatever, I don't even know what that is. Oil shield, not sure. Mess with that for a minute. It'll go like that or it'll go like that. All right, second verse, same as the first.
Again, right there.
Hit the opposite side. Okay, we got the cases as far as I can go for right now, and so now we gotta start putting the main shaft together, assuming I can remember how any of this went back together. I guess I just need to look at the instructions. So what do we got here? Disassembly, assembly, sub-assemblies, main shaft assemblies. This is the input shaft, and there's an oil dam that we're supposed to replace, so I'm gonna see if we can get her out. Just like that. There's some weird grease on here. I'm just cleaning it up. All right, how are we gonna get that in there without destroying it? Need a big old socket for that or something. Ruh-roh. Better stop for that thing never comes out. Okay, we got 2 oil dams now.
You got something stuck in there?
Well, we got the old seal stuck in there, and I go to prying on it. I'm afraid I'm going to ruin the new one. Wait, I got an idea. Got it popped out, just hit it with a chisel, we're good to go. It just needs to go down just a little bit more, I think. Well, hope we're there. It looks like we're there. Can't go down much further. Okay, stressed. How does that work? Okay, now we gotta figure out the main shaft. We're gonna throw this bearing in the oven, and then we're gonna put the shaft in the freezer, and then hopefully when this gets hot, the shaft gets cold, this will slide right on. Let's see how this goes. Okay, when it gets up to 220, then we'll set a timer for a half hour, let it cook for a half hour. So this is the main shaft, and we're gonna throw it in the freezer while the oven is heating. Gotta have my oven mitts here. Hopefully that don't fall out. Okay. See that?
You did it too quick.
So that just like slipped right on there, like it was butter. Now it won't come off. Okay, we're gonna repeat the process with the counter shaft. We're gonna put this in the freezer, gonna put the bearings in the oven, and hopefully they slide right on just like the other stuff. So here we go. Oh, it's heavy. Oh my gosh! What the heck? It's not the right one. Whew, that's hot.
That slid. So smooth.
Like butter. So I don't feel like we got a lot done today, but we did accomplish a few things. We're gonna get back on this transmission in a few days and see if we can get her all finished up. Thanks for watching. Like, comment, and subscribe.